Pokémon. You know what those are, right? They're the thing that Pikachu is. They come in all shapes and sizes, and sometimes the same Pokémon will look different depending on what part of the world you catch it in. For instance, this is a Yungoos, and I caught it in a place called Alola. But if you go to a completely different region, like say Florida, you'll find the Yungoos that lives there,
Yungoos.
well, it looks a little different.
Coming to you from beautiful downtown Fortitude Valley, it's the Harry Gold Show, with your host, Harry Gold.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the program. I'm Professor Plywood, a Pokémon Professor. Kinda like Professor Oak, but not, senile. We Pokémon Professors all have a specialty, like breeding, or evolution, or being completely irrelevant. My area is Speciation, or in Pokémon Mumbo Jumbo, Regional Forms. The same animal evolving to look different in various environments. Take the one from the Alola region we just saw a moment ago.
Yungoos, the loitering Pokémon.
What in the Pokémon world is that supposed to mean?
With its sharp fangs, it will bite anything. It did not originally live in Alola, but was imported from another region.
Interestingly, the form you'll find in the Florida region is also imported from elsewhere. It's historically associated with the New York region, and more recently, the Washington region. Floridian Yungoos is identifiable by its distinctive and somewhat oversized looking coat, along with a particularly distinguishable mane. It's also been a source of some controversy. For instance, people disliked the way they didn't communicate like a normal Yungoos through growling, but rather more like a Pidgey or a Tailo through tweeting. There were also claims of a connection to the Russia region, not to mention that very fine Piplups debacle. Basically, every time a Floridian Yungoos sneezed, did it make headlines for a few years there. But things have quietened down since the Washington region's population of Kamalas and Bidoofs increased. But that's just Yungoos. There are plenty more regional variations where that came from.
Pikachu, the mouse Pokémon.
Everyone and their grandmother knows Pikachu.
It stores electricity in the electric sacs on its cheeks. If you yank its tail, it will try to bite you.
Really didn't need a Pokedex to figure that one out. Pikachu from Kanto, I'm sure you recognize. They're yellow, they're cute, they're appallingly merchandisable. But if you wander on over to the Anaheim, California region, you'll find a mouse with notably different ears, though it's admittedly no less merchandisable. The white spots on its front are actually marsupial-style pouches, which it uses to store anything that smells like money. Scientists have yet to find a limit on just how much it can carry.
Woobat, the bat Pokémon.
Not to be confused with Zubat or Swoobat. Seriously, who names these things?
It uses suction from its nose to attach to cave walls, and leaves a heart-shaped mark behind when it leaves. Woobat is native to the Unova region, where those heart-shaped marks are supposed to bring good luck.
In the Wuhan region, however, Woobats, they don't bring so much good luck. Supposedly, they're popular in the local wet markets, where Woobat soup is a favorite. But some have said they hang around the virology labs there too. One way or the other, someone who got too close ended up accidentally catching Volcarona instead, and things sort of went downhill from there.
Applin, the apple core Pokémon. It spends its life burrowed into an apple. It also hides from its natural enemies by pretending to be an apple and nothing more.
In the America region, sometimes Applins have a difficult time finding fresh fruit, so instead the form that lives there tend to make their home in a more readily available food item. Something in their new home causes their eyes to take on a unique coloration. They also tend to be a little heavier, but couldn't say why that is.
Heatmor, the anteater Pokémon. Heatmor takes in air through its pipe-like tail, which moves through the network of pipes visible on its body. It uses this system to generate fire, which it expels from its snout.
However, the Heatmor you'll find in the Scotland region uses its system of pipes for something a little different. It's notable for its unique pelt, which allows it to blend in among the natives. Instead of fire, the distended snout and longer, thinner tailpipe are used to emit a heinous racket calculated to scare away any Pokémon that might pose a threat, as well as basically anything capable of hearing. Now, most regions have their own local gangs of troublemakers. You might have heard about mischievous ne'er-do-wells like Team Rocket down in Kanto, or Team Galactic in Sinnoh. In the MOSUL region, their local team of comical scalawags was Team Isis. What a bunch of wise guys. Al-Baghdadi, the former gym leader from Team Isis, liked to use Voltorbs.
Voltorb, the bulk Pokémon. The reason for its resemblance to Pokeballs is unknown. It explodes at the slightest of shocks.
In fact, that's why he's the former gym leader. While Kanto and Voltorbs are found mainly in electrical plants, the MOSUL region form inhabits Team Ice's strongholds. Oddly enough, this hasn't altered their propensity for blowing things up.
Fungus, the mushroom Pokémon. It lures people in with its Pokeball pattern, then attacks them with poisonous spores.
But that's the kind of fungus you'd see in the Unova region. If you were to pass through the deserts near the ROSWELL, New Mexico region, you'll find funguses, fungi, that look a little more unusual. Some believe that this particular variety originated in outer space, though the local government insists that they were first discovered in a weather balloon. Now, this Pokemon from outer space, whose gimmick is being an imposter, has an evolved form which is actually named Amoonguss from the ROSWELL, New Mexico region uses the pattern on its hands to lull other Pokemon into a false sense of security, before using its IQ of 10,000 to get away with attacking in front of several witnesses. It was recently so popular people claimed to see them everywhere.
Castform, the weather Pokemon. Castform can rearrange its cells depending on the weather. It borrows the power of nature to transform into sun, rain, and snow forms.
Unlike the variety from the Hoenn region, Castform from the Jersey Shore region differ quite noticeably between genders. While both have taken on an unnaturally sun-kissed hue, the formation of their crest is different, as are, I don't know what they're supposed to be. They certainly don't remind me of any body part I've ever seen. Anyway, where was I?
Chatot, the music note Pokemon. It mimics the calls of other Pokemon. By fooling them into thinking the Chatot is one of their own, it avoids being attacked.
While Chatot from the Sinnoh region evade danger using their unique powers of mimicry, Chatot in the France region famously use their unique crest to signify capitulation with would-be attackers. I think they also eat Poliwhirl legs. Gross.
Torchic, the chick Pokemon. It has a flame burning inside at all times, so it feels very warm to hug.
While Torchic from Hoenn are famously huggable, this is ill-advised with the Kentuckian regional form, unless you want a large grease stain on your shirt. They are nonetheless quite popular all over the world. Now, of course, I'd never condone eating a Pokemon, but between you, me, and the Lampent, they taste really good.
Snorunt, the Snow Hat Pokemon.
I can't be the only one that's always read this as Snorunt, right? I mean, I haven't always been on the right side of history when it comes to Pokemon pronunciation. I used to think the ground-type Groudon was called Groudon because it's spelt like crouton.
It feeds mainly on ice and snow. In the warmer months, this Pokemon steals away to live deep in cold caves.
A plain Snorunt is actually weirdly egg-shaped. They get their unique silhouette from their pointy cloak. The regional form of Snorunt you find in the Deep South region is also identifiable by its pointy cloak. They're known for their inexplicable dislike of shiny Pokemon and a bizarre habit of burning T-shaped objects. If you own a Plusle, it's best not to get too close.
Pelipper, the water bird Pokemon. Pelipper searches for food while in flight by skimming the wave tops. This Pokemon dips its large bill in the sea to scoop up food, then swallows everything in one big gulp.
Pelipper from the Gulf of Mexico region is a water poison type. They were first discovered a little over a decade ago when the Sylph Company's deepwater Hydreigon rig spilled a bunch of mucks and grimers into the ocean. Despite being a water Pokemon, they are highly flammable, so not recommended for smokers. Well, those are all the interesting regional forms I can think of off the top of my head. So anyway, I was talking to Professor Sycamore the other day, more like Professor Sicko mode, am I right? About whether we should associate with Professor Mirror. I mean, I'm against it. Who ever heard of a mirror tree? Let's play a game. I'll draw someone famous, and the first 3 people to guess who it is in the comments get a shout out in the next episode when I tell you the answer. Congrats to anyone whose guess last time was neither late nor early, because the answer is Sir Ian, Sir Ian, Sir Ian. Snow Pickles was cool as a cucumber, cruising to first place. Scuba Diver can breathe easy, knowing they came second. And Danny Nolan was, frankly, just being difficult to please. Alright, smart guy, try this one on for size. The eyes on this week's subject are so oversized and far apart from one another they could make the Avatar movies jealous. Their nose is of a brutalist utilitarian make. It's small and straight and doesn't stick out in any unnecessary directions. This person's mouth is low and broad, like the Farrelly brothers' sense of humor, whereas their chin is so short and squared off, one would be forgiven for assuming they shave with a belt sander. And to top it all off, this person's forehead could have been built in Dubai, that's how tall it is. Now who could this be? If you know who that was, let us know in the comments. And vote with the like button if you enjoyed this video, because unlike in politics, here, your vote matters. This has been the Harry Gold Show. So until next time, stay safe, and God bless.